Every year, Polk County Public Schools announces their Teacher and School-Related Employee of the Year. Polk County Public Schools recognize finalists from all 7 districts, and the overall winners were announced at the Inspire Awards presented by Mid-Florida Credit Union. The Inspire Awards were held November 7th at the RP Funding Center in Lakeland. Amanda Pope, Dundee Elementary Academy, has the resume of an extraordinary educator. She's a 3-time Teacher of the Year winner at 3 different Polk County public schools and has been lauded for her skills as a teacher, mentor, and leader. Administrators at Dundee Elementary Academy say that Amanda also played a key role in the school earning its first ever A grade. Joining me in studio is the one, the only, the Amanda Pope. Wow!
Thanks.
I am in awe at that record.
Woo!
Yeah, talk to me a little bit about your career with Polk County Public Schools.
So I started at Sleepy Hill Elementary School. I started the school in 2007. Totally enjoyed it for 7 years, was grown by the teachers that worked alongside with me and Julie Grice. Then I moved to Kathleen for 1 year and then found this amazing opportunity at Winston Academy of Engineering as the STEM lab teacher. And I taught there as the STEM lab teacher, and then the teacher, or the actual principal that I left Sleepy Hill for, she said, I've got an opportunity for you at Dundee. And it was as the teacher of the gifted. And so I moved all the way over to Dundee just to work for her.
So how does one get nominated 3 different schools for Teacher of the Year? You know, like Billy Currington says, so must be doing something right.
I love to serve. And it includes not only the students, but I also love to serve the teachers. I find that if you can build relationships all around, that everyone can have a very conducive working environment. So that's just what I do.
Talk to me a little bit about what a typical day is for you.
Well, serving now as Teacher of the Gifted, it depends on the day. Some days I am serving our top 25% at Dundee Elementary Academy through our Able Learners Enrichment Program. And then other times I'm working with just specifically my students that are staffed for gifted. I also teach a special called Agency, which is Voice, Choice, and Ownership, which is something that is very special to IB schools.
When you say working with gifted children, they are gifted, but it still presents a challenge because you have to motivate, you have to reach, you have to gain their trust. How do you go about doing as such?
Yes, sir. A lot of students that are gifted, they are often asynchronous. So that means that they can be functioning at an intellectual level that is far beyond their age. However, their emotional or their resiliency can be either at their age level or can be even lower. So you have to really differentiate your instruction. You have to talk them through some of their emotions, such as empathy. Currently, we are working on the 7 healthy habits for kids.
Yeah.
So we're learning about being proactive and starting with the end in mind. So these students are really developing those habits right now in my classroom that will help them to be better humans.
Talk a little bit about the community that you're in. We have 17 different municipalities. All of them, for the most part, are smaller communities. Talk about teaching in that environment where really everyone knows who you are and you know who everybody is.
Well, District 6 is a very healthy community, but working for the town of Dundee, which recently celebrated its 100th year, it is very community oriented. We have a high population of Hispanic community, and that particular subgroup, they care about their families. They care about their children. And so We build a sense of family. I know it sounds corny, but we really do build a sense of family there. So you get to know the parents. The parents know me. The kids, I know their siblings. Once they go off to Dundee Ridge Academy or wherever they choose to go for middle school, I try to keep in contact with them. So in whatever means necessary, because they do become family.
Since 2007, you've been doing this, various schools. Have you ever had a moment where you've done something teaching-wise and you saw, you know, I made the right choice? You have a story like that?
There's so many moments. But I would say a lot of them really encapsulate around my own children. My own children, that's one of the reasons why I became a teacher of the gifted, because of their giftedness. And I needed to develop strategies and skills, and I also wanted to be their teacher throughout their elementary school years as much as I could. And so I would say that watching my own children develop into productive children, I mean, they're still they're not adults yet, but they've become more apt to learn on their own. They have been very gregarious as far as trying different things. They are risk takers. They are inquisitive. And I think that seeing your own children really, it brings all of those moments real and to your own family.
You mentioned a real moment. It's happened to you 3 different times. When they sneak in on you and for lack of better words, dive bomb you and let you know that you're winning this award. Tell me about how it happened. Where did you learn this time that you were getting the award?
Well, it was a really big surprise. And I will say I am one that is not very good for surprises, but my husband kept it from me. And I have no idea how he kept it a secret, because he invited my parents were there and his parents were there. My children were there. Friends of mine that I taught with at Winston, friends that I taught with at Sleepy Hill were there. My principal, like I was speaking of, Julie Grice, was calling me right afterwards. And of course, my lovely principal now, Lana Headley, was there for me, but they kept it a secret. And they had told me that Mr. Sharpless was here and he wanted to hear about some data that I had. And I'm always about the data, talking about how my students in the upper 25%, all the things that they can do, and let's talk about differentiation, and these kids matter too. Let's talk about this. I even painted my fingernails. I was ready to point to all the data. And he literally, I opened the door and
surprise!
I saw my dad. I saw my dad, and my dad was so proud. And that's when it just really, that's when it really made everything for me. So,
at any point, the nails being painted weren't a disappointment.
No,
then, right?
no, but I did tell him. I was like, Mr. Sharpless. So, yeah,
So
it's been great. It really was a big surprise, though.
So you mentioned some of the names from the past, current, that helped you get to where you are. Obviously, it takes the village to raise the children. It also takes support staff to help you get to where you are. Who else has helped you get this far?
I would not be where I am today without that core group of teachers that I first started teaching with, Tracy Downey included, Margaret Martinez, Lacey, all of Lori Rudd, Brenda Norquist, that core group that really helped to raise me when I first started teaching. I've had some amazing administrators over the course of 18 plus years, including Julie Grice, Ava Brown, and of course the magnificent Dr. Headley. I have had my husband's as teacher, so he's helped me to grow in my educational aspect as well as relational aspects. But there's been so many great teachers that have allowed me into their classrooms, that have given me ideas, but we've worked collaboratively. And I think that those kind of teachers that are willing to grow and serve, they have the same mindset I do. And that makes all the difference.
Well, I want to thank you for coming in today, sharing your journey with us, and you are an inspiration, and Dundee is very proud to have you as a teacher. Thanks for sharing your story.
Thank you.
And that's going to do it for our conversation with Amanda Pope. Now, we invite you to check out talks with our other finalists and the entire Inspire Awards show. If you need more information, go to polkschoolsfl.com or follow them on Facebook at Polk County Public Schools.